Welcome to Reset Today with Stephanie J. You've just tuned into the show that allows you to reset in any area of your life. So come on and join me. Hit that reset bell and get ready to start fresh. Well, that's my sound. I hope you found yours by now. So glad to have you tuning in with me today. And I have been meaning to mention that the introduction, the instrumental that I've been playing with this podcast was created by my son. His name is Rashawn, and he entitled this melody, These Things. And it's off of a CD that he sent me, I think maybe close to 2 years ago now, called Melancholy Moods. And I have 2 CDs, so I'm going to be switching it up and playing some of the instrumentals on these CDs for this particular podcast because I just enjoy his music so much. And if you're interested in checking him out, just go on SoundCloud and type in SMNS in all caps. And he has a lot of other instrumentals there. And I'm going to actually put that information in my description as I do sometimes. But I am going to be before you a short time today, just talking a little bit more about preparation. That's where I left off the last time. 15 minutes goes by so fast, and I'm trying to keep this particular podcast at about the 15, maybe 16-minute mark, no more than that. So let me get started. I'll give you the definitions again that I found in Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Preparation is the actional process of making ready or being made ready for use or consideration. It is also something done to get ready for an event or undertaking. A substance that is specially made up and usually sold, especially a food or medicine. And so I was doing some talking about just stuff that we have to prepare for. And one of the biggest events that we have to prepare for is life. And we know that we have all experienced many events, some happy, some not so happy. We've had to prepare for funerals. And I just jotted down these particular professions have to prepare in a certain way. And I'll just tell you a few that I wrote. Okay. Chefs, they have to prepare or prep before meals, especially if they're working in a restaurant. And we know that a lot of chefs work in upscale restaurants. They go to school. They have to prepare, sometimes for many years, in order to become that top-notch chef. And it takes a lot. I mean, cooking in general. I'm a cook. I am not a chef. I did not go to school. I learned how to cook, and I started experimenting once my mother started forcing me to cook, and I started to make dishes, at home. I started off burning them and overcooking them because that was my passive aggressive way of not talking back to or being disrespectful to my mother, but I didn't want to cook. So my thinking behind it was, well, if I mess up the food, she won't really want me to cook. It worked, and then it didn't work because she still periodically would say, well, go make this or, whatever. But then one day I just decided I wanted to cook, and I began to look at recipes. I don't know how many of you remember the recipe files and the boxes that they had back in the day. We had one for Betty Crocker, and then stuff would come in the mail, or I go to a relative's house and see a book or recipe book. And I really learned a lot by going to various restaurants. I grew up in Philadelphia, and we'd often travel to New Jersey and sometimes Maryland, and we go to beaches and things like that. So whenever we would eat out, if I really liked something, I would look at the ingredients on the menu, and I'd go home and I'd make it, and I'd try it a few times until I, perfected it. I did the same thing with baking. So that's really how I learned to cook, but it takes a lot of preparation. I'm almost 50, and I've had quite a few holiday meals, holiday dinners. I've cooked, I prepared for my family, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. It takes a lot of preparation to make these meals. It takes a lot of work. And so whether you really think about it that deeply or not, you are always preparing in some way. I don't care if it's a dinner for two, a dinner for 10, or a dinner for 50, or a wedding, a banquet for thousands of people. It takes preparation. Okay? Teachers, and we have all forms of teaching. I'm a homeschool mom. I've been teaching my children for years. I'm a minister. I've taught in worship services. I've taught Bible studies. I've done teaching in many different avenues. I've even taught in some of the jobs that I've had. So I am a teacher, just not in a public or a private school. Teachers have to prepare lessons. They prepare for classes. Teachers prepare their students in many different areas. Doctors, they prep for surgery. Patients prep for surgery. That, thank God, that's an area that I am not experienced in. I'm blessed to say that I've never had to have surgery, and even giving birth to my children, I've had natural childbirth. So haven't had experience with that. And let's see, undertakers, they prep bodies for burial. Thank God I'm here, I'm talking to you. I haven't had any personal experience with that, although I've had to bury loved ones, my mother, my brother. I've attended too many funerals, if you ask me, and many of you may feel the same. I have not personally dealt with undertakers and making decisions and things of this nature, because I just did not want to. I just couldn't do it. And so I was there at the table with everyone, but when it came to the final arrangements, I left it up to my dad and other family members. That is just not something that Stephanie J likes to do. So let's see, musicians, bands, artists, singers, all have to prep for performances. And we know today there's a wide array of performances, be it online. I happen to be a singer, and I've been singing in the church mostly all of my life since a little girl. I've sang on many choirs. We've had to prepare for performances. We've had to prepare for singing on Sunday mornings. I've sang in a band. I've sang on praise and worship teams. I was over a music ministry for a church here in Virginia. I've had to prepare, the band, prepare songs and all of that. It takes preparation. Being a singer for years, my husband and I, we sang in many venues. We've purchased and recorded our own music at home. We did a lot in-house. Then we prepared our materials for sale, and now, to post online for many years. Every area of life, there is some type of preparation. Brides and grooms, they prepare for marriage. Well, actually, a lot of the preparation goes into the wedding day and the honeymoon. And unfortunately, we're not taught to prepare more for the actual marriage. I think that would make a huge difference. A lot of people spend a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy for that one day, and brides especially, they want it to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. But if a lot of time is not spent preparing for that new life with that person that you have to get to know, and it is totally different when you are married and you are living with someone, that's where the preparation needs to go. And I strongly advise marriage counseling. And I'm talking serious marriage counseling. You need to get some issues worked out and see what you're getting into. And unfortunately, I didn't take that route, and I didn't go as deep as I should. I mean, yes, I talked to people, I talked to my pastor, but not the way that I should have. And many years later, I'm telling you transparently, I wish that I had it, because it probably would have made a world of difference. I mean, I probably wouldn't have got married, to be honest. But anyway, it's too late for that. But it takes preparation. And basically, we all need to prep for our lives. What is going on around you? What is going on in your world? I have no clue. I know what's going on in our world, and it has taken us all by surprise. It has knocked us all off guard. There are many people that have lost their lives behind this pandemic. A lot of us are here and wondering from day to day, what now? What next? I'm not even asking that question, because I already know that there is more to come. The Bible that I read, and I've been reading for so long, has actually prepped and prepared my mind for such a time as this. And my son was saying to me the other day, he said, "Mommy, I have to get to the point, where I'm like you. You're not fearful, and I have to be that way. I want to be that way." And he said, "Why are you not afraid of all of this?" I said, "Probably because I've been hearing about this since I was a little girl." My pastor at the time, Elder Faust, he used to preach and talk about times to come, and he'd preach, not necessarily, I don't remember him preaching messages from the book of Revelation when I was younger in my teen years, but he would always talk about things that would take place in the last days. And he'd talk about how one day, and I can remember sitting in the service and hearing this, and I was like, wow, it was so totally far out at that time. But he said, one day you're going to be able to talk to people. You're going to be sitting in your living room with hair rollers in your head, and you're going to be able to see people, and they're going to be able to see you through the telephones. And he said, one day you're going to be able to, your fingerprint will just open up doors, and you'll be able to go to the store. And I was thinking like, wow, that is so crazy. Of course, we couldn't begin to fathom any such thing. But here we are in this day and time with smartphones that allow you to do everything. We're looking at each other, FaceTime. You can be in your living room, in your home, in your car, talking to someone across the globe, face to face. Come on, Skype, all of this stuff. I just recently received a new ATM card from my bank, and not only is it chip enabled, now it is contactless enabled, where all I have to do, and many of you probably already have this, I'm new to this one because I just reopened a checking account, and this is where they are. Now all I have to do is hold my card over this device, and it reads everything. I mean, come on. See the handwriting on the wall. Whether you want to or not, understand that this world has taken a major reset. And I think I'll just hit the bell for the world. This is something that is going to happen, is going to take place, whether we prepare for it or not. But wouldn't you rather be ready? There are things that you can and need to do to prepare in your life mentally, physically. Every day I'm up working out because I want to continue to stay physically fit and strong for whatever. Mentally, you can repair. Yeah, you need repair in some areas. Prepare yourself mentally by feeding your mind with positive information. I don't advise, I mean, it's up to you. I do not advise just staying immersed in the things of this world, daily news reports. A lot of that is just depressing. It is bad news. Put your mind and your focus on more uplifting, positive music, lyrics. I read the Bible a lot. I read, my books. I read other books. I read material that helps me to keep my mind focused on positivity and what I need to do. There are so many things that you probably can think of that you can do to just keep moving. I'll talk about it probably in the next episode, but I was listening to an old school song today, and I just had to stop what I was doing in my kitchen and write the words down. It took me back to a time in my childhood, and I'll share that on the next episode. Thanks so much for joining me, and I pray that the rest of your day is blessed.